If you were someone that woke up on Sunday without your daddy, man or a woman, this video is for you. This is your Tuesday talk. And I wasn't ready to do a video on Sunday because I was just too emotional. And now, I talk about my mom a lot on here, which was the reason I started doing TikToks and social media videos and all of that in the first place, as a way to kind of deal with that grief of losing her in February of last year. So if you're new here, that's the reason. She passed of cancer in February of 2023. And I started doing videos just as a way to deal with that grief and try to bring humor to situations, because I feel like laughter really is the best medicine, even though it's kind of cliche. But what many of you maybe don't know is my dad also passed several years ago. I lost my daddy. And then unfortunately a year after that, I lost my stepdad, who helped raise us for over 25 years. So I was one of those daughters that woke up on Father's Day without a daddy. Now, my dad, he was rough and tumble, honey. He was rough and tumble. Him and my mom divorced when I was like 5 years old, I believe. But, and he had a tough life. He had a lot of struggles, pardon me, in his own life. So he was kind of touch and go. He would, we weren't in his life a lot growing up. He'd show up randomly, to see us throughout the years. And there was one period I went like 7 years without seeing or talking to him, have no idea where he was at. And so Father's Day is really tough for me. Now, later on in his life, when he started to kind of get his life together, and clean up some things, he started reaching out more and coming around more and trying to build that relationship. And we did, to an extent. My daddy was from Texas. He lived in Texas. He was a cowboy. And that's what this tattoo is on my arm. Angel, with the dad's grave holding a cowboy hat. That's for my daddy. And I'm working on my mom's design to add. But he was rough and tumble. And in the end part of his life, when we really started to have a relationship, he lived in Texas, and he had these stents that they had put in his heart years ago, and they were failing, and they needed to take them out, and they didn't know what was going to happen. The doctors, when they took him out, they could lose him right on the hospital table. So me and my husband and my oldest sister and her boyfriend at the time just got in the car and drove to Texas. And we didn't even tell my daddy that we were coming. He did not even know we were coming to Texas until we literally walked into his hospital room. And the look on his face was priceless. And I'll always keep that. But while we were there, that was the last time I ever saw my daddy before he passed away. And we argued. We argued for the first time in my life. And that's really hard to carry. That's really hard to carry. But that argument came from a place of a little girl that's been holding on to so much bitterness and anger for so long. And it just finally came out, right? It just finally came out. And I regretted that a lot, and I carry a lot of guilt with that. Now, after I seen him and I went back home, we talked on the phone and kind of made up in a sense. But the last time I ever physically saw him on this earth, we argued. And then when my dad left that hospital, he signed a DNR, do not resuscitate. Because, again, he was a cowboy and he was a rough and tumble guy, and he was never one of these that wanted to be hooked up to machines or anything like that, keeping him alive if that were to come. And so he went home. And he was out in his yard trying to do some yard work, still trying to work. And he fell out in the yard. And they called an ambulance for him. And they got there, and they didn't have a copy of the DNR, so the ambulance started, performing life-saving procedures on him. But when they got him to the hospital, where they had a copy of that, they stopped all life-saving treatment. And he passed away. He passed away the day before my birthday. And so my birthday every year is not something that I look forward to. because it brings up all those memories and all that hurtfulness. But I say all of that to say to you, if you have a parent, mother or father, that is still alive, and please listen to me because I've lost both, and you're holding on to bitterness or anger or whatever happened in the past, and believe me, I understand those feelings are valid. They are 100% valid. But do your best to build whatever kind of relationship you can with them. Find that peace within yourself and within that relationship before they are gone, because it's a very heavy burden to carry. It's a lot of guilt, and guilt like that can impact your life in ways that you're not even aware of. It's just deep down, and it's hard, and it's ugly, and it's dark, and it stays there. There's nothing that can take it away. You have a lot of guilt and a lot of what ifs and I could haves. And I know you're looking at your parents, and maybe the things that you feel bitter about or have a hard time with are their fault, and you're looking for them to be the parent and reach out and do the apologizing. And I understand that too. But what I implore you to do for yourself and for your own peace is pick up that phone. Pick up that phone or drive over there and visit them, because no matter what the relationship you have earthside with your parents, when they are gone, it is such a weird emptiness within yourself. And people who have not experienced that may have a hard time understanding it, but those who have, and those that are in this club that we never wanted to be a part of, you get it. You know what that means. And you know how that feels. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a grandmother. But I still need my parents. They didn't, my daddy didn't get to live long enough to see all the accomplishments that I made. My mama was able to see some of them, and she was so proud, and that makes me feel so good. So take my advice, please. And that's your Tuesday talk.